Thank you for being here this evening during the Kaleidoscope series Introduction to chanoyu. Um, this webinar will run from 5 to about 5:45. Thank you so much for being here. We are so excited this evening to introduce to you Kyoko Matsuda. Kyoko has been an important part of the Seattle Japanese garden community for quite a while now, since 2014 actually. She is an Omotesenke tea teacher, and we love when she and her students conduct tea ceremony in the Seattle Japanese Garden Tea House. The garden is open to the public right now, and you can make a reservation on our website to visit. But the tea house is still closed for the time being due to our COVID-19 safety regulations. So we hope to see you in the garden soon. And I know that Kyoko really hopes to be able to offer tea and tea sweets to all of you in the garden as soon as it's safe to do so. This is the 5th episode of our Kaleidoscope series, and it will be available on YouTube later. To start this evening off, we're going to watch a video that Kyoko made with the help of Seattle Japanese Garden staff to teach you a little bit about tea ceremony and what it means.
Matcha green tea came from China, and the tea was started drinking in the monastery to stay alert during meditation. So then monk introduced to shogun to this is good for health and so forth. So amongst the high society people started drinking matcha green tea, and the tea ceremony became popular. Until 150 years ago, almost tea practitioner was all men. 150 years ago, we opened the country to the west. Then we lost the samurai. So samurai was the most tea practitioner. Then we said we need to educate the woman. So tea ceremony was one of the curriculum for the educate the woman. 松田京子と申します。表千家のお茶を教えています。初めてお茶の何かお茶を見たのは5、6歳だったかなっていうふうに思います。どこかでそれも覚えていないんですが、たくさんの女の人たちがお茶会だったと思うんですけど、着物を着ている姿を見て、いつかお稽古したいなっていうふうに思っていました。 tea ceremony in Japanese is called sado or chado, that way of tea. And our school, it's much more simpler, called chanoyu. Chanoyu is hot water for tea. So we just drink and simple things, enjoy that moment. If you look at around the tea room, it's all Japanese cultures packed. So calligraphy, utensils, everything is Japanese really high quality craft. So making coordination and preparing for the guest and just serving tea. It's very simple things. This moment is only once in a lifetime. We always drinking tea and enjoying together, but each moment is different. Everybody think tomorrow comes automatically, but nobody have guarantee. So I do the demonstration at the Japanese garden and Seattle Art Museum. People come to my tea room and I see their eyes lit up, then I feel so much receiving. That's why I feel this teaching is so much my passion and much more. I would like to introduce this culture as much as I can. So that's my legacy, that's my passion.
Wow, what a lovely video. And I hope everyone was able to enjoy the video the second time you started it. So now we have Kyoko Sensei. Hello.
Hello, Jasa.
How are you this evening?
Wonderful, thank you.
It's so nice to see you.
Yes, nice to see you and great to be here.
Good, good.
Hello, everyone.
I see you're in your tea room.
Yes, this is my tea room.
How beautiful.
Thank you.
So now we're starting the Q&A session. So if our audience has any questions, you're welcome to submit them to our question and answer box. I actually have a question to start off. Kyoko Sensei, if that's okay.
Sure.
Oh, thank you. So you talk in your video about Ichigo ichie, which is a really beautiful phrase. You also have a nonprofit organization called Ichigo ichie, yes?
Yes.
So would you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes. Ichigo ichie means one opportunity, one encounter. The phrase means each encounter happened only once in a lifetime. Every day is different. For example, when it's raining, some people might feel down, and we have accept the beauty of the rain. People generally are thinking about the future. Also, we think about the past, and we can learn from the experience. But we cannot change. However, lots of time people are stuck in the past and cannot let go. In the 21st century, we all have become multitaskers, seldom focus on the moment. While attending tea gathering, we leave our daily life behind. Before entering the tea room, practicing the tea ceremony, we only focus on the present. I feel like it is a form of meditation or mindfulness. Drinking matcha green tea has many health benefits. For example, it's lowered cholesterol, has lots of vitamins, minerals, and is good for your skin.
Mm-hmm.
There are more, but those are just a few.
Mm-hmm.
Also, tea ceremony is both physically and psychologically beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
It brings mindfulness, good health, and good friendship. So I belongs to non-profit organization Omotesenke Domonkai Eastern Region USA.
Mm-hmm.
This organization goal is introduce Omotesenke-style of tea ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
tea culture, giving outreach tea presentation in public.
Mm-hmm.
In 2019, I established a non-profit organization, Ichigo Ichie Foundation. My purpose was to introduce, share the beauty of the tea ceremony, share traditions, and promote mindfulness through Japanese cultural traditions. Ichigo Ichie, in the moment, is once in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
In a moment is one of my life slogans.
That's really wonderful. So Ichigo Ichie is your organization here in Seattle. That's fantastic. Um, so you talked about your school, Omotesenke, and we actually have a question here from the audience about the Omotesenke school. And it's actually Robert asking, how are the different schools of chanoyu different? So what would make the Omotesenke school different from the Urasenke school?
Basically, it's the same. Founder originally 400, more than 400 years ago, Sen Norikyu started, and then fourth generation, they made a different school. That was the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little bit a different small settle, but it's basically we drink the tea and enjoy the moment.
Oh, lovely. So would the different schools do different movements during the tea ceremony?
Yes.
Okay, but the goal of enjoying tea is shared between all of the schools. Fantastic. There's a question here from Rachel in our chat. What does your current scroll say in your tea room?
Okay. Usually hanging scroll is usually tea gathering main theme,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps set the mood.
Mm-hmm.
So my hanging scroll today is Wake Seijaku, written by the current Omotesenke Grandmaster. His name is Yuyusai Sensosa Iemoto.
Mm-hmm.
He is the 15th generation blood descendant of Sen no Rikyu, the man who established today's tea ceremony in its form in the 16th century. This hanging scroll says, wa, kei, sei, jaku. It means harmony, respect, purity, and tranquility. These are the basic principles of the tea ceremony. For example, there is harmony between the host, the guest, and even the object in the tea room. There is respect for the process, people, and object. There is a purity not only in a clean environment, but in your mind and heart. Finally, there is tranquility. We can only have tranquility when we have harmony, respect, and purity.
Wow, that's really special. So you would change your wall hangings every class. It won't be the same from tea ceremony to tea ceremony.
Yes, even the class, I changed the scroll. It depends on the season and
Mm-hmm.
who's coming also.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so you might put up a special scroll for a special guest.
Yes.
Oh, oh, nice.
So
What?
sometimes also in a presentation, and sometimes I have a private presentation requested, and
Mm-hmm.
I oftentimes ask that what is the occasion, and if they say something, I try to kind of match up the theme.
Mm-hmm. That's very cool. That would really make a special event feel like very memorable, I think. I have another question from our audience, actually. Someone is curious about where they can get more information on your tea classes if they're interested in studying tea.
First of all, just to come to the presentation, and
Mm-hmm.
I like you to know that a little bit what is actually, and I like sit in a tea room.
Mm-hmm.
So when I start the public presentation, please come to see me at the Seattle Japanese Garden Tea Room.
Oh, excellent. And then you can have that first-hand experience and see how much you enjoy it, which I think everyone really will. Okay. Another question. Actually, this is another question about the wall scroll. So this is a follow-up. Is it unusual to have art or an object depicted on the hanging scroll along with the calligraphy?
We have only like a painting also. It depends also season or as I said, it's the theme of the day, seasonal and
Mhm. Wonderful. And someone here really knows tea ceremony a little bit because we have a question. Is today's chabana in the background a camellia?
yes, white camellia from my garden. I
Oh,
little bit off and in Japan it's already finished, but my garden is quite shady and white camellia is one of my favorite flowers.
so there's some really beautiful camellia in the Seattle Japanese garden right now. I was there yesterday and it's I think Seattle growing season's a little different from Japan. So
Yes.
actually does the growing season here, does that change your schedule for flowers at all in tea ceremony?
I'm sorry.
So your chabana, um, would you change it a little bit in Seattle from what you would do in Japan?
Yes, I think try to do same way in Japan,
Mhm.
but some are like 2 months behind. So I do that pick up from my garden,
Mhm.
best flower in the garden that day. So
Mm,
I think that is the best things.
that's really wonderful. So I have one more question from the audience, a really interesting one. How long is a usual tea ceremony? This one was shorter because of the video. So how long would a usual tea ceremony be?
It depends. Longest one takes up to 4 hours.
4 hours. That's so long to sit in seiza.
Oh no, we have intermediate in the we have a break.
Mm,
That is not just drinking tea,
mm,
making also charcoal, setting up, and to boil the water. And while we're doing things, we serve a light meal called kaiseki.
mm,
Then we get outside, stretch their leg, change the mood, and then come back,
mm,
and we serve two different type of tea. But these are the formal, and this is the longest one. But you don't need to do all the time like this. You can just invite your friend
mm.
and have casual and just bowl of tea and sweet.
How nice. So you have a tea house, of course, at your home that you have built, right?
Yes.
Yes. So is that normal in Japan to have a tea house like this in your home?
Uh, Answer is no. Most of the home in Japan are more westernized.
Mm,
People sleep in the bed and sit on the couches, and there are less Japanese style rooms.
hmm.
I was so thrilled when I found out that Seattle Japanese Garden has a tea room.
We're very lucky.
Yes, I feel that too.
Yeah. So, does that mean that you can only have a tea ceremony in a special tatami room, a Japanese style room, or could you also have tea ceremony in a Western style room?
Yes, so you can enjoy in a living room, and
Mhm,
so nowadays also lifestyle change. So you can invite your friend and serving tea um, on a table and sitting on a chair.
mhm. Oh, we have a follow-up question for the audience. So, the name, for those of you who are familiar with the Seattle Japanese Garden, you may know that our tea house is actually named Shosean, but we have a question, and Shosean is Arbor of Murmuring Pine. We have a question for you, Kyoko. Does your tea room have a name?
I don't have a name yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. When I establish more, I hope someday I can have a name.
That would be really special. I hope that your tea room gets named someday. Okay, so we have just a few minutes left, and I want to go through the questions just to make sure that we really cover things that people are asking. So, oh, here's a really good question. Uh, how long does it take to study tea ceremony before you can do tea ceremony?
Um,
You've been studying for a long time, right? Like over 20 years.
yes, I had a little bit blank in the middle, but because of the tea ceremony is an art, you can study it as long as you want to.
Mhm,
Making a matcha is not difficult. First, you warm the bowl and dry it. Then you add 2 scoops of matcha in a bowl and pour 2-3 ounces of hot water in the bowl and whisk it until half the bowl get frothy.
mhm,
But the way of tea chanoyu is related to various Japanese arts and philosophical principles. The style of preparation can be varied by occasion,
mhm,
seasons, and the guest. Studying the way of tea can include Japanese, like study Japanese history, calligraphy, flower arrangement, cooking, textile, architecture of the tea room, and the tea garden, and additionally, of course, tea utensils
Oh,
like
that's a lot.
ceramics, lacquerwares, metal and ironwork, bamboo, and woodwork. All items are work of art. So you can spend quite a long time studying if you want to. It can be a few months or a few years, but at this point, I'll be studying for rest of my life. I'm kind of a slow learner.
No, I know that's not true. I've attended your tea ceremony. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Um, it is 5:45, so we're just about out of time. There are some really good questions that we didn't have a chance to get to during this Q&A, and I'm sorry to anyone whose question we missed. I'm noticing there are quite a few I didn't see in the chat. So um, I have a very good suggestion though for everyone who still has questions. And I think that if you have a question still, please go to tea ceremony at the Seattle Japanese Garden as soon as it is available again. And Kyoko will be very happy to answer your questions.
Yes.
Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much. Kyoko Sensei, thank you so much. And have a beautiful evening.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Bye bye.
I'll see you in the tea room.
Mm-hmm.